Well, before we come to page one, but the involvement of Zoom is quite an amazing. I'll get into this. It's quite an amazing contemplation and meditation on appearance emptiness. It's quite something. Yeah. So much so, sometimes if Laurel, for instance, sometimes has me on WhatsApp with the picture and my voice, Tashi will come over and lick the screen. It's very interesting. She just looked at the picture of Laurel, went like this, carried on. So I ask you, the question is, what are we experiencing? Feels very live in the tent. We say live, and then we say on Zoom with these small little images, yes, of people. So more on this. But coming back to Morena's question from last evening, you can have all the marvelous meditative experiences, which can be very good. So no negativity there. But many people have all kinds of meditative experiences, hallucinations and visions and all kinds of wonderful things, or not. But unless the three non-virtues, so you were asking about what is really real about liberation, fabrication. Unless the three non-virtuous poisons, afflictions, greed, hatred, delusion, go down, really eradicated, there is no liberation. So as the greatest, one of the greatest qualities that emerges out of non-clinging awareness. Wherever there is clinging, there will be the downgoing of generosity, loving kindness, and wisdom. Yeah. So we are looking for the freedom from attachment and clinging, which gives rise automatically to generosity, loving kindness, and wisdom. There's nothing like generosity, relative and transcendent. That means just free generosity. No subject, object, no gift, just absolute generosity. But relative generosity is the greatest antidote to clinging, to self-referencing, which is the heart of all suffering, the heart of all dukkha. Dukkha, not just gross suffering, but dukkha is dis-ease, friction, dissatisfaction, wanting, not getting, not having, getting, more getting, but still unhappy with what you have. So this line here, develop diligence in virtuous actions. Virtuous actions means the six paramis, and especially superb ethical conduct which removes the harm of self and other. So it's very, very amazing line there. Yeah. I think it was the great yogi Shabkar 200 years ago. Great Tibetan yogi, amazing enlightened being, said, if greed, hate, and delusion are still present, then the Dharma is rotten. He said the Dharma is rotten. And if there isn't great compassion, like great compassion for all sentient beings, the Dharma is rotten. It just isn't Dharma. Just isn't. Can't be. So this is important. So majority vote last night, if we turn to last night, majority vote said, let us turn to the Metta, to the loving kindness Sutta, and wonderful. So I believe you have some copies, some translations, at least one translation. And traditionally, if you go to the commentaries, the great commentaries of meditation practice, the Muti Magga, Path of Freedom, these are ancient, 1800 years ago, almost 1900 years ago. the Suddhimagga, Path of Purification, written in Sri Lanka, I think 1,200 years ago, 1,000 years ago. These texts of the oral tradition of meditation, the Buddhist tradition, are very clear that the antidote to hate states, the antidote to beings who are predominantly driven by anger, frustration, and hate, what we call hate types, the great antidote, the great meditation for that is metta, is translated as loving kindness. And for those that are predominantly greedy, lustful, sticky types, it would be the Asubha meditations, especially on the decomposition of a human corpse, which is not so easy to do. We would probably have some major issues of the health authorities here if we did that, let alone perhaps water and other things, but there would be some complaints. It's actually very hard to do these practices today on a human being who's decaying. But I would say that the appropriateness of metta is taught all over the world, and it's such a major practice, is really because whether you are a predominantly a greedy type or a dull type, you're still going to have frustration and anger. And that is because beings don't get what they want. When they get what they want, they find out that they need something else. And once they have the else, they want something else. So loving kindness is appropriate meditation for almost all sentient beings. And especially, I think, this time, this age that we're in, where there is such a high level of frustration, irritation, anger, which is also doubt, by the way. Doubt is anger. If you want to know where doubt comes from, it's just anger. It falls away when there is loving kindness. So this is a very famous discourse by the Buddha. Many different translations. It is being chanted probably right now in hundreds of places, hundreds of monasteries and so on. It is really famous. It's a great practice. And this practice of metta, really you should use the word metta. Loving kindness is good, but it doesn't encapsulate the whole nature of this practice. Metta meditation, there's no way to get around metta meditation. No matter who you are, if metta is not strong enough, there is no path of liberation. It must be there. There are people that devote themselves to metta. That means their full practice is metta for years and years and years. They go into retreat, practice metta, and they are literally like a magnet of love. As Namdra said many years ago, not necessarily awakened, but just full of the radiance of love for all beings. At one time, my understanding from both monastic and more modern scholarly work on metta is that before Shakyamuni Buddha, before 2,500 years ago, the practice of metta, this was not his invention. This was a standard practice among yogis and yoginis of ancient India. We could say Hindu yogic practices. Metta meditation was considered a path of freedom. But the Buddha didn't quite teach it like that. But you'll see in this sutta he alludes to that. But in the tradition of Buddhist meditation, metta is not a sole practice of freedom. It is a necessary condition for freedom for all beings. Does that make sense? It must be there. Strong to great. But by itself, loving kindness doesn't liberate. A few words about it. So this great discourse on metta. So before going into, let's say, a definition, we could go to the dictionary and we could look up all kinds of definitions of the word metta and why loving kindness was picked as one translation. But I think before we do this, it's much better to go through the text because, like so many Pali words that are used in the tradition of Dharma, one word is chosen in English or German or Spanish or Italian, but it in no way encapsulates the feeling of it, the meaning of it, which could be 15 different meanings. Now, what's so interesting historically is that when metta is taught in various versions, this first paragraph, I don't know which translation you have. Yeah, that one. Okay, good. The first paragraph is taken out as being superfluous, as you don't need it. They go right to the chanting of a metta formula. Something like, and there's different formulas, there's one in here, but something like, as I am well and happy, may all beings be well and happy. Just right into that. But that first paragraph is amazing. And I keep coming back to it because the first paragraph tells you what the prerequisites are for metta. You see why it's skipped. I mean, let's get rid of the prerequisites. But the prerequisites are the definition of the scope of metta. Is that making sense? The scope. So it's not just loving kindness. Loving kindness is one word that we can use to get our hands on this meditation. But once you open up the first paragraph, you get a feeling of, oh my goodness, this is what metta, the scope of metta is. It's also the prerequisites that you work on to bring about metta. Making sense? Yeah. It's kind of like picking up a text of quantum physics. And there's many wonderful books written on quantum physics and cosmology and so on, right? There's just beautiful texts with not one single equation in them. And most of us can work our way through and understand it, except for one minor detail. Zero prerequisites and training to go any further than just a bare general concept of quantum physics. It goes so far and then, oops, it needs some mathematics and needs some very, very deep conceptual basis, which is taught at the undergraduate and graduate levels. Okay, let's dive into this before we come back to the word metta. So, and many translations of this. Let's go through this. What should be done by one skillful in good, so as to attain the state of peace? So this is where we have a reference to state of peace in Buddhism, in Buddhist tradition, means nibbana. So you're introduced to the Nibbana Sutta, which gives an actual definition of nibbana. So often the phrase that is used for the attainment of nibbana is state of peace. Now, if you didn't know any different, you'd say, great. If I can be really peaceful and have some moments of peacefulness, I've attained nibbana, or I've experienced nibbana. But that's not, as you can see from the Nibbana Sutta, what it actually means. So we have these stock phrases, just like we have expressions like, get it together, or be cool, or let's go to the beach, something like that, which you can take literally, but doesn't encapsulate its real meaning. So there's another one. State of peace, santam, but actually means the peace that, if you want to write this down, this is important, it literally means the peace that comes about through non-clinging. That's actually the definition. The peace that comes through non-clinging. You see, I said, it's democratic. We do the loving kindness practice, but actually we end up with the Four Noble Truths. See, it's democratic. Why? Because the Four Noble Truths, or the four realizations of a noble being, you can't escape them. You can't get around them. That's the peace. So, the delusion, and no negativity here, by the way, the delusion of a sentient being is, if I get tranquil and I feel good, then I have a feeling of freedom. But it almost always comes with the feeling of attachment. It always comes about through attaching to something, an object, a mental object, but apparently outer or apparently inner, that gives a sense of pleasure and release, giving a feeling that one is now free of dukkha, free of suffering. But it doesn't happen that way. So that is the peace of non-attachment, the peace of non-clinging awareness. Okay. So it starts out beautifully, as many discourses do, as many instructions do, by a question. What should be done? How do you do this? How do you attain nibbana, which is a continuum of non-clinging awareness? How? And then it says, done by one skillful in good, skillful in kusala, good states, wholesome states. There it is. Skillful in the good, skillful in ethics and virtue. So that's where it starts. So that first opening line will tell you how you get to metta. If you jump over this paragraph, metta is unstable, unskillful, and is probably based on attachment. So, as it says in many, both by the Shakyamuni Buddha and many practice texts that came after, in the oral tradition of this practice, is the enemy of metta, and maybe we'll come to it perhaps for tomorrow, a handout from the, I think that was also in there, a handout from the Vimuttimagga, the metta practice from the Vimuttimagga. The enemy of metta practice is affection. So this is not a practice of affection, it's a practice of caring and support for all sentient beings. This is important to write down. Affection is straying from the practice of metta. This is a practice of beatific infinitude, of caring and wishing the good, the well-being of all sentient beings. That's absolutely what it is. Yeah. Can there be some affection in there? Yes. But if affection is too high, then it's actually not metta. It's called what? Affection. Practice of affection. So when it says what should be done, how do we do this? Karaniyam means basically kara. You see in the title there, Karaniya. Kara is karma. It's the same word, karma. What should be done? What activity should we do? What's our activity? To bring about a state of peace, a state of non-attachment, a continuum of non-clinging, nibbana. Then we come to a list of 15 qualities, which is the prerequisite that you want to develop for the bringing about of metta. So you could sit there and go, I'm practicing metta meditation. But if you don't have these 15 qualities, you can't bring about metta meditation. You can bring about some metta. you can bring about some good meditative states, even really cool experiences. But there won't be a stable metta. There won't be what I call a profound metta, or as Namjen Rinpoche would say, great love, really profoundly great love, yeah? Which is also based in wisdom. Okay, let's go through these qualities, and I'm going to give you these qualities to contemplate and to develop. So, maybe a little bit less of this, trying to generate for you metta. I'm going to be a great loving being because I'll feel much better if I do. To real metta, which is the manifestation, is these 15 qualities. Okay? That's a great being. That's a being that can walk, talk, sit, stand, brush their teeth, comb their hair, make a meal, open a car door, go swimming with metta, as opposed to, I am generating metta for the sake of all sentient beings, and boy, do I feel good. You will, by the way, and you'll have a much better complexion. Number one, we can, if you want, take a pencil. This helps. Take a pencil, and you can put a 1 above let him. Now, him here means her too. Him, her. Him and hers. Let him or her be able. Sakha. Okay, and the Pali word, it's really good to know these. The Pali word it's actually in the text sakho. It's for a poetic chanting purposes. But the word is sakha, S-A-K-K-A, sakha, which literally is ability, able, skilled knowledge. If you want to write these down, because these are the qualities I want you to work with. And have a checklist. I want you to make a checklist of 15. You thought, wow, I came here to meditate, to not think. No. Came here to think very deeply, to contemplate very deeply. Get real. As Namjen Rinpoche would say, get real, Mac. Make a list of 15 qualities and have a checklist, which is, can I bring these 15 qualities about? Because if you bring 15 qualities about, you have metta. You'll just be bathed in metta. These are the 15 qualities of a noble, great being. It's like the prerequisites for it. So if you really go into this word in the Pali, it means skilled knowledge, skillful knowledge, full of merit. Capable, can get the job done. So you have a checklist, right? Sakha. Can I get the job done, or do I 50% of the time not get the job done? Or 10% of the time not get the job done? Or 90% of the time get the job, so on. And it, not so that you put yourself down or beat yourself up, but go, there is a weakness here, or there's a really good strength here, or I overdo it. I spend 15 hours on something that really could do fairly well in 10 minutes. So, yes.
Is this pertaining to worldly activities and
Absolutely. So, I think you've heard me say this about 4 billion times, but I'll repeat it. In the words of the great Namjen Rinpoche, to a number of people that would come to visit his house and so on, very strongly, if you can't make a cup of tea, you can't become enlightened. And there's times when he would, out of compassion, reject a cup of tea and say, not good. If you can't be attentive to making a cup of tea for another being and put your attention, your smell, all your senses into extracting the best possible tea or coffee for another being, not just for you, but for another being, then you cannot become enlightened. You don't have the attention, the love, the interest, the ability, the capacity to even do that. He was serious, by the way. It's absolutely serious. In the world, I'm not a professional chef at all, maybe not even a good amateur chef, but in the world of professional chefs, of which I have a dear friend who was a top chef in a huge restaurant, the first test of walking into a kitchen and getting a job in a kitchen for them, this is back in England, many years ago, is can you make an omelet or scrambled eggs? That's it. And the first thing they look for is which pan do you pick. And if you don't pick the right, you're out. Out. Get out. Didn't even pick the right pan. Out. Capable. Capable how? Investigation, skillful ability to be interested in how this is going to unfold. It's very important. Very important. Whether you're an artist, whether you pour a glass of water, whether you place the water down, whether you pick up a text and show interest, actual genuine interest, to unfold it, whether it's in another human being. Did you get the feeling? This is love. Interest is love. So, the first word, sakka. Capacity, but also skillful capacity. Number 2, uju. So you can put a little 2 there, upright. Again, these are one single translations. Pretty good. Uju, with a long U. Sometimes in the dictionary with a short U. Uju. Let's see, uju. To straighten up, to stretch, to be direct. Yeah? So you feel your body, not just your straight body. You can have beautiful posture, you know. You could be like a runway male or female model, have absolutely perfect posture. But what's going on inside? Anxiety attack? Who knows? Who knows what's going on inside? Right? So it doesn't just mean posture, it means upright straightness of mind and conduct. Are you uju or ujukata, uprightness? Straight. Are you straight and direct? Number 3 is also translated as straight, can be translated straight, but here it means straightforward. Yeah. Su huja, which su is good, really excellent straightness, excellent directness. It comes from S long U J U. Good, full, straightforwardness. Yeah. How do you present yourself? So, again, she's in heaven. Look at that. How straightforward are you on issues? Do you circumvent them? Do you skirt around them? Right? Not want to deal with them? You get the idea. Yeah. And this is how you manifest the world. So by contemplating these words and contemplating the meaning, you can ask yourself, when I interact or when I'm by myself and so on, how straightforward am I? What does it feel like to be straightforward? Yeah. These are qualities, excellent qualities. Number 4, easy to speak to. Another meaning of that is, it's really literally su, which is good, wacho, su, speech, good speech, suvacho, suvacho, good speech. How easy is it to speak and be spoken to? It's actually, in the meaning of this text, gentle, literally gentle in speech, easeful in speech. How well do you speak? How well do you communicate internally and externally? And how do you interact in speech? It's cool, isn't it? I mean, these are really difficult, high attainments. We're going to sit there and go, wow, do I feel good? This is metta. But how do you get there? This is how you get there. This is the environment. This is the ecosystem that you need to really bring about excellent metta. I think you had a question there. Okay, great. Fairly clear? This is ecosystem. This is a healthy forest. This is a healthy microbiota, gut microbiota, functioning so that when you sit down or you stand, there's metta. Muda, or mudu, but it's actually muda. M-U-D-A is next. Number 5, gentle. Gentle. What does mu do? Mud? What's mud about? Mud is soft, mild and tender. Gentle, soft, mild and tender. This is beautiful. Body, speech, and mind. Body, speech, and mind. How tender are you in body? How mild, how gentle are you in body? Clunky? Smashing? Rigid? Right? How's that feel? Literally. Sore all over? Uncomfortable? Or able to embrace, able to be receptive in body, in speech, and mind. How does that mind feel right now? Does it feel walled off, rigid, frightened, anxiety, prone? Does it feel stiff, or does it feel tender, gentle, open? This is metta. Metta. All the qualities of metta. Sometimes translators put those two together. Suvacha, muda, which is gentle in speech. Some people actually put those two together. It's suvacho chasa mudu, but some break it up and say excellent speech or good speech, and then gentle, tender. Mild-mannered. You know, Clark Kent? You know, underneath the clothes is a Superman, a mild-mannered Clark Kent, and then out comes Super Metta. Okay, next one. Next one is usually often translated as not proud. Yeah. Oh, sorry, just jumped. A little bit. No. Easy to speak. Yeah. 5, 6. Not proud. Anatimani, which is really no or negation of mana. Yeah, so M long A. I said this wouldn't be a course in Pali, no, but actually these are really important. This is a good list to make. The opposite, the negation of mana, M long A N A, in the text it's mani for rhyming. Attimani. So it is opposite, or the negation of conceit, the negation of a conceitful mind that is a self-referencing, pumped up type, or humility. That's literally what it means. Humble or not proud. Literally not proud. Now you can be proud of your accomplishments, but not pumped up about the accomplishments. Toned down. That's usually in the text it says, be toned down, yeah, but aware of one's accomplishments, but tone it down. Yeah. Not overblown self-referencer. Literally, if you look up the word mani or mana, it means one of high opinions about self. That's what it means. High opinions of self, full of very great pride. Not pride, very great pride. An arrogance about self. An arrogance about self. Okay, there, checklist. Number 7, contented. And the text says here, contented too. It's like adding it in. And contented too, but it just says contented in the text. Yeah, contented. Santa, S-A-N-T, sometimes S-A-N-T-U. Let's take a look. It's actually a longer word, but it's Santu Sakaso, but is S-A-N-T-U-T-T-H-I, Santutti, which literally means satisfied. Santutti. San, two T, there's two dots under the two T's. S-A-N-T-U-T-T-H-I. Santutti. Satisfied. How satisfied are you? Is there a dialogue going on? Don't like, not good enough, could be better, I'm no good, my meditation isn't good, I'm in the wrong place. That's contentment. Right? So how satisfied by the situation? Or is it always a feeling of being unsatisfied? It's not good enough, it's not right, could be better, could be better, could be better. We have this thing, I think in Canada, maybe not, but Teague certainly, we have this joke which is, maybe it's from Ontario, I don't know, but say, how are you this morning? Could be better, could be better, could be better. It's sort of a joke we have in the morning. How are you doing this morning? Could be better, could be better, could be better. I think it's particularly Ontario. Yeah, good response. Yeah. Been better, been better, been better. That's our standard greeting in the morning, right? Could be better, could be better, could be better. Yeah. Next word, number 8. Supported easily. Subara, like Subaru. Subara, S-U-B-H-A-R-A, Subara. And of course, in the text, it's Subaru. It's beautiful. But Subara. And that literally, see where my notes are here. Subacha, from Subacha, to shine, literally to be shining, bright, beautiful, auspicious, a pleasure. Easily satisfied. You just feel shining all over. Yeah. Here's some rice. Thank you very much. It's pretty ordinary, but thank you. It's okay. Easily satisfied. Sometimes we say easily amused. It's okay. So it's good. Next one. What do they have here as a translation? So what number is that? Number 9? Yeah, number 9. With few tasks. With few tasks. Literally, in Pali, it's appa kicho. A-P-P-A, appa kicho. K-I-C-C-O, or kicha, actually, not O. O is the ending in these verses, but it's appa kicho. Kicho means activity, duties. So it means to be unburdened, literally means to be unburdened of duties. Not always swamped with having to do things. You may say, oh, wouldn't that be nice? That is one of the reasons for entering the monastic order. It's actually considered one of the reasons. So you can devote your time to Dharma, practice of meditation, study, reflection, retreats, because in traditional society, not like you're in a godlike realm with many servants and a whole a parade of beings to run your bath, to lay out your clothes, to do the dishes, so on. Yes, understand? But when in ancient days, not like now, ancient days, you go from early morning till night, doing things, duties that must be done. For instance, churning butter, hours of churning butter, washing clothes. Remember, anybody ever do that? I used to do that, right? With those, remember those washboards? Yeah, and you take it and you're rubbing, or to do the laundry. Yes, you go down to the river. It might be a couple kilometers away. You take clothes a couple of kilometers away and you beat them on rocks, right? Like in Bali. Still do in Bali, I think. I don't know if they have so many washing machines in Bali now, but I remember going to Bali in Indonesia where you go by rivers and there's people, right, washing out the clothes, yeah, into the drinking supply. Yeah. Great. Phosphates and nitrates just to help the algae bloom. But from morning till night, getting the fire going, making the food, maybe grinding the corn, yeah. Duties. Children, family duties, yeah. From morning till night, duties. Where's the time to contemplate? Where's the time to even spend a half an hour and contemplate? Does that sound familiar to some of you? You're probably going, whoa, yeah, 4 hours on doing emails. Yeah. My last official job in life, before one last consulting job, but in 1999, wow, ancient. When I used to work, last job I had, I was up to about 4 hours of emails a day. That's over 20 years ago. That was 4 hours of emails would come in from the minister's office, from the mayor's office, from this, from that, from instructors, from students, whatever it is. And I would have to devote more and more time every morning to just take care of all those emails. Now I see the style is very different with emails. No. Yes, not, fine, bye, leave it alone, yeah, right, one-liners, two-liners, one word. But in those days you used to, as I still do, hello, how are you, good morning, hope all is going well, we could do it this way or that way, how do you feel about it, maybe you can get back to me, we could meet, or that's a very good idea, but today is, yeah, or now I'm doing emojis, just... If we only had emojis back then, right? Just 4 hours of emojis. Smile. If you have one of those emojis which is that, It's not quite the same as that. So some of you who get a text message and emojis from me, or message from me now know that to save some time, I just go, "Yep, good, check mark, thank you," right? That's very good. Okay.
Mark,
Yes.
in some countries,
They don't have emails.
during the wash is their meditation. A man or an individual tending his corn, like in many countries, during the day, that is his meditation. Where we come from, anyway. And it's not a burden.
But it still is a duty. So what it means here is it has to be done where the deep contemplative work of unbusyness. Because when you're doing the laundry, when you're doing those various things, unless you're a cow herder or you're out tending goats way out in the field, which was a great opportunity to get away from the concerns of family and so on, and do deep contemplation. But so much of it is social, so much of it is busy, so much of it is gossiping. To be able to be in solitude, to be able to be like this opportunity, or to be in a cabin or a cave and literally not have to engage in those things, is an amazing opportunity of simplicity, of not having to be in the state of busyness with body, speech, and mind. And that's different. So the word meditation can be used in many different ways. In this sense, it means the duties that get in the way of profound meditation and contemplation study. Yeah. So yes, I would say yes and no. Many things can be done in terms of busyness and activity when you're a very experienced practitioner. But at the beginning phases and even the middle, it's really important to take space out without a lot of duties, to have the space and time to let the busyness settle out and let the clarity, the thought-free wakefulness and energy come bounding up. Yeah. So, yes and no. And also depends on your definition of meditation. Is meditation time out, or is meditation something else? So, for instance, you could say that golf can be a profound meditation. You could say that running can be a profound meditation. You can say that doing your emails can be a profound meditation. Absolutely. But it's what we mean by meditation and what we mean by tranquility, calm, and a path of liberation. So, yes, possibly. I would say generally not. Come back to that. Let us take a 10-minute pause and come back to this text, since we've gotten through part of the first paragraph. 10 minutes, come back somewhere before 20 minutes to the hour over here in Pacific Standard Time. Nathan, it means consumed with busyness. That's actually, I'll come back to that. It literally means, duties here means consumed with busyness. When you're too busy, no space for contemplation. Yeah. That's what it means. Just consumed with busy activity. Yeah. Running around with your head chopped off, going from meeting to meeting, going from washing duty to washing duty. Can't get away from the gossip.
For example, the maid that we have sings when she's working. And that's very nice. Singing, doing her work.
Yeah.
For the women who down at the river washing.
Sometimes what people call meditation is tranquilizing, is a state of tranquilization. So we need to distinguish between tranquilization and bright awareness. Not saying no, just saying so much of what people call meditation is actually a tranquilizing activity, like a lullaby. Yeah.
Excuse me, Mama Mark. Is that because it's not in the pursuit of awakening?
Exactly. It's pursuit of actually being calm. So you could say that when I go meditate and I go to a cafe and get busy, I feel more tranquil than being by myself. Or when I play the guitar, I can feel like I'm in a really good state because I'm taken away from me. But it's not a practice of liberation. Could it be? Yes, but rarely is it. Yeah. Rarely. Yeah. Wonderful. Okay, back to the text. So in a little bit of a side discussion with Nathan there, we basically this unburdened with duties means unburdened of busyness that is not productive busyness. The inability to have the time and space to contemplate, study the path of liberation, and do deep meditation. And of course, as you know, I could even say sometimes about these retreats, not negative. These are also teaching retreats. But when I talk about retreat, I really mean get into a cabin, get into a place where you don't talk, you cook for yourself, frugal, basic, unbusy, and you can contemplate 15, 16, 17, meditate 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 hours a day. Uninterrupted, unbroken. Now we're talking. Okay? Really, really talking. Deep contemplation. Next one. Frugal in their ways. Yeah. Number 10. Living very lightly. In the translation you have, another translation, frugal in their ways. Salahukka vuti. So it means freedom from, let's see. Actually doesn't, yeah. Freedom from wants. The wants are easily met. Interesting. You think it would be broken up as sala hukka, but it's not. It's san and lahuka. Yeah. So this word really literally with vuti means a free of wanting, free of over wanting. So how do you measure this? Well, for many of you with $500 million super yachts, you would really $100 million yacht would be sufficient. This is how you would go about measuring it. But what it means is you can go from your daily life to also without stressing, and without too much concern, to a very pared down life. You can go both ways. So it means a simplicity. It means a way of life that is easily met. Now you may say, well, I've got a house, or I've got an apartment, or a condo, and I've got this and this and this and this and this. Does this get in the way of my practice? Not necessarily. It's a question of your mind. You see? But certainly when it comes to deep practice, being too busy and too cluttered and too, what's the word? Too many wants, too many needs, surrounded by too many needs, really does get in the way. Yeah. Could it be frugal? I've met people who are so frugal it becomes a neurotic activity. They're very proud that they have no money. They're very proud that they don't have a credit card. They're very proud that they don't. I know one person I met, one was actually proud that they couldn't come to retreat because they didn't have the money to travel. So there's a whole pride. They were so frugal. Everything was the cheapest. They practiced cheapness. It was kind of interesting. So frugal in their ways could also be a negativity. But here it means, can you be straightforward in your wants to the place where you don't consume in terms of wanting, needing, wanting. Next one, number 11. Peaceful and calm. It actually means his faculties, or faculties serene. Faculties. Sanindro. Santi, peacefulness, and indriya, which is a faculty or a function. The faculty of tranquility and a calm states. By the way, calm and tranquility doesn't mean dull. It means bright, effervescent, relaxed, and interested. It's very, very important to recognize those two. Anytime that tranquility goes towards the lullaby, goes towards the dulled out state, the druggy state, it's nice state, dull, okay, but it's nothing to do with meditative practice. It's a fault. It's considered a hindrance to meditative practice. So as another comment there on using drugs, is drugs so often create a druggy state. You want a fresh, awake, unelaborated, clear, lucid mind to investigate experience and phenomena. Next one is wise and skillful. What do you have there? You have prudent. Prudent, I'm not sure I'd really use that word. It is nipaka, Nipaka. In the text it's nipako, but it's Nipaka, nipaka, which is the chief, a chieftain. It means a chieftain. It means a master. Intelligent, clever, prudent in ways. So prudent is one translation. Yeah. But its first translation is one who is a leader who is intelligent in guiding beings. So therefore prudent in their choice of decisions. Yeah. That's very good. Wise and skillful, I think I'd like there. And the next one is not proud. What do you have there? Modest. Okay. 11, 12, 13 is modest. Or not proud, which is appa gabo. Appa is A-P-P-A. Appa is small or unobtrusive, little, small, insignificant. And gabo is a bold, too bold. Interesting, eh? Too bold. So this is opposite of too bold. Opposite of obtrusiveness. Opposite of immodesty or inappropriate behavior that is just too flashy, too big, too chancy, too on the edge, too interested in getting something happening, this sort of thing. Too big. Apagabo. Yeah. Apagabo. Free from overboldness, I would say. Yeah. Okay. Next word, number 14. Unswayed. Now here it is. 14 is actually more than one word. It's unswayed by the emotions of the clans, of the family. Kusalesu anna nugito. Unswayed by the emotions or vicissitudes of family and clans. That's literally what it means. So, kulesu or kulesa is family or clan, and it means free of all the stuff, the boiling turbulence that can go on in families, family feuds, family clans. Yeah, that's what it means. So one translation has free of demanding in nature, but it literally means getting out of the family emotional turbulence or the clan emotional turbulence, the revenge killings. You know, we don't have that here necessarily in Canada, but actually in some countries, yes. Revenge killings, revenge. Families that fight endlessly over money, power, dominance. Yeah. In Canada, North America, other countries, family issues and problems can take up a lot of your life energy. Matter of fact, could take up a good portion of your life energy, being involved in family or clan affairs. And the last one, number 15. Let him or her never do the slightest thing that otherwise men or women might not hold blamable. So that means not that you wouldn't do anything, but to really look at it and go, can you live a blameless life? That means you can look back at the last year, the last month, the last 10 years, the last 5 years and go, there's nothing I've done, or very little I've done, that a wise being would go, that was harmful, that was inappropriate, that was the kind of wrong behavior that gets self and others into trouble. Yeah, that's what it means. That would later, the wise would later reprove or would disparage. Yeah. Nacha kudam samchare kinchi yena vinyu pare uppa vandayom. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise, those beings who are wise, would later disapprove of. And so do you go around going, I wonder if this is going to be accepted by the wise? Not so much. But this is why we have precepts. The very minimum to fulfill that last line, number 15, is the 5 precepts. If you're harming, then there will be consequences of that harm that the wise, beings of wisdom, including yourself, will go, that wasn't very skillful. As a matter of fact, it might be unlawful. It might lead to jail time. It may lead to a criminal prosecution. It may lead to something that ties you up in knots for years and so on. So it may be unskillful. Okay? So please make a list and look at these and go, this is the ecosystem for bringing about excellent metta. This is so important. And so to leave this out and jump into metta meditation, I believe, I'm going to give you my opinion, hopefully not high, haughty opinion, but give you my opinion, which is leaving this out also leaves out the metta meditation. The metta meditation is highly inefficient without these 15 qualities being worked on. Does that make sense? Yeah. So then it comes the next one. So that's those are the 15 qualities the Buddha is saying. These should be done by a being that wishes to enter into a state of peace, which is not a state of peace, which is nibbana, which is free of all states. Then it says, next paragraph, and let him think, in brackets, in safety and in bliss, may creatures all be of a blissful heart. There's no heart in there. That's inserted in later translations over and over again. Nothing wrong with the word heart. It's just not actually in the Pali. But free of danger, in happiness, in ease, in bliss. That word bliss also is often translated, instead of bliss, it means literally at full ease. At full ease. May every single type of creature, from amoeba to giraffe to human beings, may they be in ease, and may they be of a blissful or easeful quality. The word heart has been inserted in there because it's modern, it's very popular, but it's actually not in the Pali. It literally means it's a classic refrain: "Sabbe sata bhavantu sukhita." May all beings be at ease. So there's the first line for the most fundamental, essential metta meditation, not for liberation, but as a metta meditation of care and love. May all beings be at ease. May all beings be in a state of relative happy quality. Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? What happens, I'll put this out as a general question to all of you, what happens when people are not in a state of ease? So turn it around into a contemplative question. What happens to you, me, and a population, let's say the people in this tent, all the gathering, this community, those on Galiano Island, those in British Columbia, across Canada? What happens when a majority of beings are no longer in a state of ease and are in a state of discomfort? What happens? May I say it boldly? All hell breaks loose. Have you seen it yourself? What happens when you're not comfortable? What happens? What do we do when we're not comfortable? This is metta meditation. What do we do? Anybody want to suggest something?
I feel agitated.
Pardon?
Agitated, more self-referencing.
Yeah, when we're agitated, we have more self-referencing. What else do we do? What else do we get up to?
Act out.
Pardon?
Act out.
We act out. What kind of acting out?
Negative.
Pardon?
We fight.
We fight. We do what's called in Patiga. This is all studied. You study this in the Abhidhamma. We do in the Abhidhamma. The word is patiga, not anger. Patiga, to strike against. When we don't feel at ease, we push back to defend ourselves. Right? When we're at ease, we embrace. When we're at ease, we like to hug trees. I've actually had someone ask me that in a metta retreat. Can I hug trees? It's okay. I just want to hug trees. No, sure. Go hug a tree. And then usually what happens in metta meditations, I want to hug everybody in the retreat. Good sign, but no. Can I just like hug everybody? No, that's called affection. But so when we don't feel at ease, when we don't feel blissful, when we don't feel relative happiness, we have a tendency to strike out. What kinds of things do we do?
Any of the five precepts.
Exactly, the 5 precepts are broken. Why? We feel we need to break the 5 precepts to feel at ease. We feel that we need to strike out, harm, push away, maybe even kill, maybe tell lies, tell tall stories. You see? Drink ourselves a bit too much into a stupor. So, for what purpose? To feel at ease, to lower the anxiety. So if I may be a bit psychological for the moment, in my world of primitive psychology, if you wish, it's all around anxiety. We do things to lower our anxiety, right? That's called dukkha. We do things to lower the dukkha threshold. And we'll do anything to lower the dukkha threshold. And sometimes it's not very skillful. Why? We're just not at ease. So reflect on that. When you feel at ease, when you feel relatively happy, comfortable, satisfied, what's it like in the body, speech, and mind? And when it's not there, what happens? This is really important not just to meditate on, but to contemplate it deeply and go, oh my God, look at the state of the world. Look what happens when people aren't comfortable. All H bomb breaks out. Yeah. The trigger to lash out, to be unskillful, to harm, is very, very quick when one feels a state of unease. Okay? So, very important for all communities and all beings. Sukhita wa kemmino hantu sabe sata bhavantu sukhitata. May all beings be safe and may all beings be at ease. So we're going to leave it there this morning. I'll take some questions and so on. But if you could use that, the first refrain for this meditation. May all beings be safe. May all beings be at ease. That's the literal translation from the Metta meditation text. May all beings be safe. May all beings be at ease. And feel that in yourself. And as you feel it in yourself, you can take up a meditation posture, you can stand, you can walk, and just keep saying that over again and try to feel that in your experience, and then wish it for all sentient beings. May all the beings in this retreat be safe. Yeah? May all beings be at ease. And if people feel safe and at ease, they care for each other and they care for themselves. That's called love. Then they're in a loving state. Yeah, it's really straightforward. Okay. And then we'll go this evening or tomorrow morning. We'll see what happens. But there will be a session this evening. So if you wish to join us on Zoom, that'd be great. But I may just resume, we'll see, may just resume the practice of this text tomorrow morning.
Can you state the time for that and the time zone?
The time, yeah, I'll do that. The time will be 7:30 Pacific Standard Time, Vancouver time, yeah, this evening. Okay. But of course, we're going to continue with the standing leg rotations and so on. That's really good. Yeah. Let's see if you have any questions. So that's the refrain. These 15 qualities. Increasing these 15 amazing qualities which is the ecosystem, the environment for metta to arise. And then using the refrain to feel it in your being. What's it like to feel at ease? What's it like to feel safe? And may all the beings of this community here and all the beings on Galiano be safe and be at ease. This is loving kindness. This is metta. Okay, and then the text elaborates on that. By this powerful activity, this punyakama, may it lead to the cessation of the stories of the asawas, the floods of confusion for all sentient beings. And may all beings discover innate primordial awareness imbued with natural compassion as a glorious gift for all sentient beings. Sarvamangalam, Sarvamangalam, Sarvamangalam.